You're here in my shop. I have the opportunity to ask you this as someone in this industry. You know, I started doing this a few years back and kind of fell into it organically. Seeing as you're one of the founding fathers of this industry, you've seen every trend come and go that's been in the books. I was wondering if there are any trends you have your eyes on in the current gear market. Is there anything that interests you or concerns you about the way things are headed?
I have plenty of concerns. The way the industry is marketing guitars is radically changing. Guitars are being sold online a great deal more.
We certainly are.
You can't simply sell a new product like this effectively online because people still want to come in and actually play one, hear it, be exposed to it, not just in a video, because you really can't reproduce the sound very well just in a video. There's no experience equivalent to driving it yourself. You can hear others play it, but ultimately every player has his own individual touch. The only way you can ever know it's really good is to pick it up, play it. It's like, even with cars, you can watch somebody else on the interstate driving a Ferrari next to you, and if you and he are doing the speed limit, you don't have any idea what that thing feels like.
Yeah.
It's only when you get behind the wheel and drive it yourself that you know.
I started my store in 2016 online primarily, and then I opened the brick and mortar in 2021. And a large chunk of the time, I feel like I've been just sort of going by the seat of my pants. I've had somewhat of a plan going along, but for the most part, I feel like I've been sort of winging it. I guess what I'm getting to is when you opened Gruhn Guitars in 1970, did you see the Versitar? Did you see where all this vintage market stuff was going, or were you just flying by the seat of your pants?
Hill & Sons in London's violin shop would be a good model. But you know what I do every day now?
What's that?
I'm winging it.
Winging it?
So we'll leave it at that.
And the last question I have is, people like me, young luthiers who are starting out now, people who are wanting to start guitar shops or guitar-related businesses, what advice would you give to them, to me?
Keep an open mind. Accept the fact that your plans may differ from what reality dictates. Be ready to adapt to the realities of the market, and be open-minded enough to recognize opportunities when they present themselves. So you can design something and you can have a basic business model, but the world often doesn't cooperate with that model. Be prepared to adapt, because the market's going to throw lots of curveballs at you.
Yes.
And even if you get it really right now, the market of 5 years from now could be very different. It's just like people at a movie theater and they had live music and they were doing silent movies, and they had all those movie actors who were great actors for silent. Well, by 1930, talkies came around, and all those guys who didn't even know how to speak English but could do great pantomime were no longer in demand as actors. And even for guitar builders, you spend a lot of time learning handcraft skills, and now most of it's done on a good CNC. And being a great CNC programmer may be the way to go now, but the programming language may be different 5 years from now. If you're not adaptable, you're not going to last. The world requires that we are all adaptable. And pay attention to demographic as well as technological and economic trends.
That makes sense. You need to know who you're selling to as well as what you're selling.
You have to understand the psychology, economics, and the technology of the market.
Well, Mr. George Gruhn, thank you so much for coming and talking to me today. I really appreciate it.
Pleased to do it.